with a location now approved for Lloydminster's new event arena. City Council learned new details about how administration will work through the planning and design phase of the project. Here's Jace Mackey with more.
Lloydminster's new arena project is still firmly in the planning stages, and the city is hoping to lay a strong foundation for the project with the creation of an arena charter and multiple committees. The charter is meant to give the project a clear vision and lay out the responsibilities of city staff.
We have a lot of talented people who have been around for several projects in the past that know and understand where we need to get that community involvement and get that buy-in, and so much of it is community-based and getting that sponsorship and advertising dollars.
The city is hoping to see over $30 million in grant funding come through for the project, but that would still leave over $10 million to pay. 2 committees will be set up now to help fill that funding gap. One will focus on sponsorships, while the other local fundraising.
It's just good to see that we've got a system set up where we can get input from the community and start working on actually raising some funds to make this happen, because it's something that I think that we definitely need.
These projects don't happen without that, so it's very important to get everybody out there pushing in the same direction. I think that the opportunity that's going to come with this is huge, and the opportunity for local people, local businesses to get involved in this, and Lloydminster always does.
A place where great things happen in rural Alberta and Saskatchewan 365 days a year. That's part of the vision outlined in the new charter.
You don't just have to be from Lloydminster to be excited about this project. This project is going to become a regional type project. It's going to bring in all kinds of different events. It's not just an arena. We'll be able to host other things in this facility. You saw in the reports to be activated 365 days a year with 52-week opportunities.
The city's internal project team and committees will now continue with the design of the new facility. Consultations with local residents and key arena users will start soon. Councillor Aaron Buckingham, a councillor from the Saskatchewan side, says he's heard a lot of positive feedback from residents.
First of all, I like that we're replacing one with the other on the same side. Second of all, I think it's going to spur growth in that area, and I'm not sure what else you could put in that direct area that would spur that kind of growth, whether it be residential, commercial, all of those things. The connectivity piece of it, where we'll take the walking trails at the end of 36th Street and 40th Ave and connect those over to there, I think it's all good.
For Primetime Local News, I'm Jace Mackey.
New programs are being introduced in schools that put mental health as a top priority. And in this week's Beyond the Classroom, Jasmine King learns more about the SHINE program.
Buck is going to teach us about how he faced his fears. Are we ready to learn from Buck? Yeah.
SHINE, which stands for Strong, Healthy Individuals Navigating Emotions, has been integrated in schools around the border city the last few years. The program focuses on different aspects in the student's life that is not always taught in the classroom.
SHINE is a mental health capacity building program. It's funded through Alberta Health Services, and it's basically just a program focused on developing mental health and resiliency skills in children in our community.
The wellness coaches have a wide variety of activities they bring to students. These range from games to reading and even just having a conversation about how they're feeling. They want students to be comfortable talking about their emotions.
Our Kamochi's program, which we have a book for right here, it has a whole bunch of little characters on it, and it has many different feelings that go along with them. So we get to do different, classes with them based around that whole feeling. And lots of what we do with Kamochis is we work with the teacher and see what that class needs in the moment, and then we kind of work around that and add those emotions in there.
SHINE posts some of their lessons online to their blog and social media. The wellness coaches have seen positive results from their students, and the kids take what they learned at school and bring it home to their family.
Many different parents talking about how their kid never really talked to them about their feelings before, how they come home and they say, guess what I've learned? And they bring home their worksheet and they get to teach their parents about something that their parents maybe never even learned in school.
And for this week's Beyond the Classroom, I'm Jasmine King.
At Lakeland College, our students are challenged to go beyond the classroom, so when industry knocks, they're ready to thrive. Learn more at lakelandcollege.ca.
If you haven't noticed, it is absolutely freezing outside. And with more on the weather, let's check in with Jasmine King.
Thank you, Tate. Yes, it is very cold out there. I'm sure I'm not the only one who knew it was going to be cold today, but didn't think we were going to get this cold. And it's not good news because that's going to continue on throughout tonight and into tomorrow. But speaking of right now, it's minus 26 here in the border city. There is that sun, so it's kind of warming you up if you're inside and maybe the sun's coming through, but it's not that warm out, and with the wind chill, it is feeling closer to minus 37, so not a fun time outside right now. And with that extreme cold warning we're experiencing, you can get frostbite in minutes if you're outside for too long. But speaking of right now around the region, we can see minus 24 in Vermilion, minus 23 in both Marwayne and Cold Lake. Bonnyville is at minus 27 and Lac-La-Biche is at minus 19, so one of the warmer spots, including Edmonton, which is at minus 17. And over on the Saskatchewan side, we see they're closer to that minus 30 range as Maidstone and North Battleford are at minus 28. St. Walburg is at minus 30 and Meadow Lake is at minus 26, as well as Pierceland, and then Green Lake is sitting currently at minus 25. But like I mentioned, there is that extreme cold warning still going on for lots of places around the Lloydminster region and further into Alberta and Saskatchewan. But overnight tonight, North Battleford will be getting down to minus 36, but with that wind chill, they're going to be feeling closer to minus 40. But tomorrow it will be warming up, so only single digits, so it's not that bad, but it's still a bit cold. But even Cold Lake tonight, they will be getting to minus 31 overnight, which will feel colder with the wind. And then tomorrow they have that high of minus 3, so it's not a bad high at all. And now as we look into the 3-day forecast, tomorrow our high is 0 degrees, but with the freezing rain that we get, we're going to see there is that chance of freezing rain tonight. So with that cold going overnight, it will be 0 tomorrow, well, closer to 0, but not exactly. But then heading into the rest of the week, we can see it gets warmer, including Saturday, which gets up to 5 with that 80% chance of some snow. But that's a first look at your weather forecast, and we'll have more news and sports after the break.
Welcome back. If you're not planning on going skiing or tobogganing, all this snow might not bring a lot of excitement. Fortunately, if you're in the agriculture industry, after a historic drought last year, producers across the prairies are breathing a sigh of relief with all the moisture they've seen so far this winter. CTV's Mike Arsenal reports.
Wind and snow won't stand in the way of Joe Bouchard's responsibilities on his farm. He's a cattle producer in Fisher Branch with 400 cows and 1,400 acres of grain. Last year's drought took a toll on many agricultural producers in the province. Bouchard says it was the hardest year he's ever faced.
Trying to make sure we had enough feed was our biggest concern for our cattle, going to get them through the winter. The crops were poor, which also compounded the issue.
Bouchard says last year pastures were very dry. He had to buy feed and grain to get his herd through the winter, and he even sold some cattle to make it through. But with the high volume of snow that's fallen onto Manitoba this winter, things are looking up.
Last few winters we haven't had much snow, so this is a good start. We had a large dump in November, which lots melted into the ground, and then what we've had over the winter is definitely going to help.
Manitoba beef producers says last year's conditions had a very negative impact on the soil's moisture, and producers will be starting the 2022 season in a difficult situation. But General Manager Carson Callum says the heavy snowfall is definitely going to help.
We're still going to need some, important timely rains throughout the summer, like we always do. However, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable that looking out there and seeing the snow on the ground.
Keystone Agricultural Producers President Bill Campbell says the production of grains and oilseeds in the 2021 growing season was down significantly due to the dry conditions, and this current trend is encouraging.
We'll just have to see how spring melt happens, and hopefully we do get some runoff to replenish our lakes and streams and rivers.
Bouchard says it's tough to work in the snow, but it'll be worth it in the long run.
The moisture is more beneficial than kind of the short-term extra work we got to put up with here for the next few days.
Now, here's a look at your agriculture prices for today. From the Inland Steel Bobcats to the Junior A Bobcats, one local player is the most recent signing of the AJHL team. With more from the Bobcats coach, here's Evan Kenny.
I'm pleased to be joined now by Lloydminster Bobcats head coach and general manager Nigel Dubé. Nigel is joining me to discuss the Bobcats' most recent signing coming late last week. They have signed local player Kade for next season. Now, Nigel, just starting things off, tell us a little bit about Kade as a player.
Well, with Kade, we've been able to follow him here right in our backyard, and he's a player that's developed, and I think he's grown and he's matured, on the ice and off the ice, and having that ability to have him out to camp, a couple of years already ago, and to follow the process along with that. He's continuing to grow his game, and we're really excited about that, and what he'll be able to do for us, and his offensive upside. It's something that we've talked about a lot before. And, we really feel as a staff that he's going to establish his game in junior hockey, as a 17-year-old and be able to, chip in and be a well-rounded player.
Now, what made Kade stand out compared to others in that U18 AAA league?
Well, just his commitment on the ice and his commitment off the ice, and the growth that we've been able to see in him. He's a student athlete. He really takes pride in his marks and focuses on school, and I think that's a huge part of it. He does the things the right way on the ice, and he's in the gym and putting the time in there too as well. And that's a big part of our organization. We want players that are committed to the game and committed to their education too. I think it's one of those that goes hand in hand with success all around. And he's definitely done that. And then we've been able to see him do that. We've also been able to have him out to practice and in and around our guys, and our guys love him too. And that's a huge part of it.
Now, Nigel, I know last season you guys were signing players who were hoping to join the team for the second half of the season. Now, obviously, there was no second half of the season for the Bobcats, but that leads me to this question is this signing for the future, or are you hoping Fond du Lac will join your team now?
Yeah, it's a signing for the 2022-23 season, and for us here, him being an affiliate player, we're pretty injured here right now, and it's just kind of we're into January hockey when you're 40 plus games that happens. So there's a good likelihood that we'll see him moving forward in our lineup here down the stretch. And able to get him into some games here before the year's over too, as well as an affiliate player.
And Nigel, final question, you kind of touched on it already, but being able to watch the guy, like you said, in your own backyard, just talk about Kade being another local player who will be joining the Bobcats.
Well, it's huge, and I think he's got similarities to another local in Javen Leslie. I think that they both have the same ceiling. They both have grown and developed, and I can see Kade being the same player that Javen is right now in junior hockey down the road. I think that's exciting. That's really exciting, and for him, watching him and seeing where he's come to already, and he plays an aggressive style of game, and he's high energy. He's fun to watch, and I think that'll translate right into being a Bobcat next year, and we look forward to that.
Well, Nigel, thank you very much for taking this time and joining me. This was Nigel Dubé, head coach and general manager of the Lloydminster Bobcats.
Thanks, Evan. On the season, Fond du Lac leads the Inline Steel Bobcats with 10 goals in 26 games. Changing things up, though, let's toss to Jasmine King once again for your second look at weather.
Thanks so much, Tate. Continuing to take a look right now around central parts of Alberta and Saskatchewan, we still are sitting at -25 here in the border city. But as we look into the Alberta side, we can see there is pretty similar temperatures throughout. -17 in both Edmonton and Edson, -18 in Rocky Mountain House, and Whitecourt is at -21, where Jasper is only sitting at -8. And over on the Saskatchewan side, like I mentioned, they are closer to that -30 degree range. So Melfort is at -28, where Meadow Lake is at -26, as well as Prince Albert. And then looking into the northern parts of both our provinces, we can see it still is cold up in the north there, and La Ronge and South End are both sitting at -26, as well as Flin Flon. Buffalo Narrows and La Loche are at -23, and Stony Rapids is at minus 30, which is one of the coldest places in Saskatchewan currently. And on the Alberta side, they're all hovering around that minus 20 to minus 24 range. Slave Lake and Fort McMurray are both there at minus 20, where Peace River and Fort Chipewyan are at minus 24. And looking into the south, we can see it gets a bit warmer down here in southern Alberta. Calgary's at minus 13, as well as Lethbridge. The Medicine Hat is at minus 15, and Banff is sitting at minus 9. And then we see more minus 20 degree ranges over here. We can see Regina's at minus 26 currently. Moose Jaw is at minus 23, and both Estevan and Kindersley are at minus 25 degrees. But as we look into your national forecast, we can see that Winnipeg is still cold, so similar to what we're seeing here in Alberta and Saskatchewan. But further on into Ontario and into the Maritimes is where we see a little bit warmer temperatures. Quebec City is at minus 13 with a bit of snow currently, and then Toronto is only sitting at minus 1, where St. John's is at minus 4, and Halifax is sitting at minus 5. And over into the western parts of our country, we can see Vancouver is at 10 degrees, so they are one of the warmest spots in Canada currently. I'm sure that we wouldn't mind having those degrees with us right now. And then Whitehorse is the opposite of that at minus 10, and then Yellowknife is at minus 26 with some snow. But as we look into your overnight temperatures, again, that extreme cold warning will be carrying on throughout the night tonight and into tomorrow morning. So there will be that frostbite in minutes, so expect with the wind chill, we will be getting to minus 40 around every temperature here that we can see. It will be getting down a lot colder. But as we look into your 7-day forecast, like I mentioned, Thursday we have that high of 0 degrees, but there is that chance that we'll be seeing freezing rain tomorrow morning. So just expect that. The roads might not be the best because of the precipitation that we are going to see. And then Friday has a high of minus 7 degrees. And as we look further on to the week, we are getting 2 positive days on Saturday and Sunday, but we can see as we head into Monday, there is a higher chance that we will be getting more snow. And then Tuesday at minus 7, and Wednesday is coming back up to minus 1. So we will be expecting snow this weekend, but again, tomorrow there is that extreme cold warning. But that is a look at your 7-day forecast for now, and we'll have more news coming up after the break.
I'm joined here today with Simon Stang, one of the members of Kingsman Club in Lloydminster, to talk about their Telemiracle Steak Night happening on February 5th. So Simon, do you mind telling us a little bit more about this event?
We've been doing the Telemiracle Steak Night fundraiser here in Lloyd for a lot of years. All the years that I've been part of the club, I think it's the 18th annual this year. So yeah, and the event it's changed the last couple of years, but essentially it's a steak dinner fundraiser with all the proceeds going back to Telemiracle. So it's kind of it's our biggest fundraiser in Lloydminster for Telemiracle for sure, and it's also just one of the club's biggest events and probably one of our most popular as well.
What sort of entertainment can people expect to see at this event?
Yeah, so over the years, we've had a range of performers, and the last couple, we've had to kind of shift to last year was an entirely virtual performance. And this year, we're kind of doing a hybrid version where we will have 150 tickets available for inside the venue, and then we'll also offer the virtual version as well. And yeah, the band is a cover band called Bud's Busted Nine Irons, of which I'm actually the lead singer. So, so I'm actually in the band as well. And we played the event last year. We're super excited to be like part of this event again. We're really looking forward to getting back to, being able to have a fully live in-person event because it's always so much fun for both the participants and the band. But we're happy this year that we do get to play for some people who are lucky enough to get tickets to watch in person. But yeah, we're really excited. We play a wide range of alternative, classic rock, pop, country, all sorts of classic cover band songs. So
Where is the money being raised going to?
Yeah, so all the money raised goes directly to Telemiracle. And that's the annual fundraiser that is put on by the Kinsmen Saskatchewan, which are Kinsmen and Kinettes in Saskatchewan. And yeah, I think most people in Saskatchewan are quite familiar with Telemiracle and the telethon that they usually put on every year and the live music that they do. So yeah, we are just happy to be kind of doing our part here in Lloydminster to help that cause.
Are there any tickets left for the in-person event?
Yes, there are. I don't know exactly how many, but there are still in-person tickets available. And then for anybody else who either would prefer to be doing it virtually or getting their steak dinner delivered to their home and watching the live stream feed, there's also almost an unlimited amount of tickets available for that. So anybody looking for tickets, both in person or delivery, can call Darcy at 780-871-4818. As well, we're also going to be running an online auction, silent auction as well, during the event. So both people that are watching at Three Trees in person or people that are watching the live stream at home will have an opportunity to bid on those. And we're still also looking for auction items. So if anybody is looking to donate anything for the silent auction, they can call Byron at 306-421-9474. And other than that, pretty much just, stay tuned to Facebook is probably our number one place where we share all of our information. So if you follow the Connect Club of Lloydminster or the Lloydminster Kinsmen Club on Facebook, you can find all the details that you're looking for there.
Thank you so much for joining me here today.
Yeah, you bet. Thank you.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Joining us today for Primetime Local News is author Jen Nash on her debut book called The Big Power of Tiny Connections. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Shelby. I'm excited to be here.
No, of course, we're really happy to be able to have you on here. So this debut book is your first book, and it really sounds inspiring from everything that I've read so far. Can you tell us a little bit more details about it?
So The Big Power of Tiny Connections, which is a how-to quick change guide to encourage people to get out there and connect, because I truly believe that connection is like the salt and pepper that we add to our food. It's critical for flavor, for fun, and honestly for fulfillment. Like, who wants to eat bland food? Who wants to live a bland life? We need connection. So this book was my, I guess, ode to how I was raised, because I had a really crazy mom who loved to talk to strangers. And, when you're a kid, it's not so fun. But as I grew up, I got used to it, and I actually started to embrace it and lean into it. So this is a really fun how to filled with stories. It's a little bit of a different kind of book because it's got these sections called Let Me Tell You a Story, but then that's sided. There's like a nice side of how to. What do you do if you're awkwardly standing next to a cheese plate? How do you proceed? So it's a nice balance for how to get more out of your life in different particular moments and also stories.
And of course, for this being your first book, how would you say the experience has been getting into writing?
I was really lucky. I worked with a group of other writers, and we worked on our first books together. It was a 6-month project. And at the very end of the 6 months, we all did a 6-week writing stint. And basically we had to write, I can't remember what everybody else was doing, but my goal was 1,800 words, 6 days a week. And so how was that? a lot longer than I thought it was going to be. Like I thought, okay, I could probably bang that out in 3 to 4 hours a day. I can honestly say it probably took me 6 to 7 most days. Yeah.
And from this experience, have you been seeing lots of strong support so far?
I am very blessed, and I have a lot of people who have stepped up and shared the book. 17 days after getting published, I was on another major network, which is very exciting. I'm talking to you. I am super excited about how it's being received. I think at the end of the day, COVID has created such a desire for connection. So when you see a book called The Big Power of Tiny Connections, I think it inspires hope. And that was really what I wanted people to feel when they saw this book title.
And for all your new fans out there that may be watching this, is there some future works that you can let us know about, or anything that you're working on right now that you can give us a little teaser on?
So I am an executive coach, and I run trainings, I run retreats. I'm very proud of my masterful storytelling trainings that I do at companies, because I really think that storytelling is one of the most powerful ways that you can form a connection. And when you're trying to pitch a company, upsell a product, or even just like deepen ties within a company, connection and audience-centered connection is everything. So I'm really focused on growing that reach. And what I love about the book is I very seamlessly show how these really fun stories changed my life, changed the life of other people. I mean, I'll just give you an example. One of the stories at the very beginning of the book, I go for tea with my mom in a hotel in New York for my birthday. And we end up randomly talking to this gentleman who was sitting not too far away. And we found out through the conversation that he used to be the governor of the state that was right next to New York. And I was like, oh, okay. And then we found out he was the mayor of that state. And then the next thing you know, he invited us to lunch. And, I was thinking, actually, we're driving in that direction anyway. So we had lunch. And fast forward 6-7 months later, he invited me to this amazing book launch for one of his friends. And the next thing you know, I'm sitting at dinner, I kid you not, with legendary crooner Tony Bennett. On my right, I've got NBA commissioner Adam Silva. I'm like sitting at the table watching Norah Jones perform live. That singer-songwriter is legendary. I mean, like all of this happened because I entertained a conversation with a stranger while I was having tea, and then followed up, went for lunch, and just really was present. So I think, if people are looking to like hear a little more, I would lean into their storytelling opportunities and lean into connecting more.
Well, it really sounds like from this novel, you're trying to give people that motivation to take chances out there. Now, where all can they all access this book online and in stores?
Yeah, absolutely. Anywhere they buy books normally. And if they want to support local, I absolutely suggest walking into your local bookstore and just asking them to order The Big Power of Tiny Connections. But if you want to go on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Chapters, etc., they all have it online. So it's everywhere. And actually, if they go to my website, which is jennash.com, they can take a quick look, and there's even a bunch of downloads that are up for grabs. So
perfect. Well, congratulations on the success of your first book, and once again, thank you so much for joining us today, Jen.
Oh, thank you so much, Shelby. I really appreciated it.
Taking a final look at your 7-day forecast, again, we are in that extreme cold warning overnight tonight, so just be aware of that. So the wind chill will get close to -41 this evening, but that may be our coldest day of the week. As we look into the next few days, we'll be getting a lot warmer.
Thank you very much, Jasmine. That is all the time we have for this first hour of news. If you missed anything, feel free to stick around and catch more coming right up.